Hey everyone, I want to give a special shout out to all of you who have been supporting my channel by subscribing and watching my horror stories regularly. I'm sending you all my love, and a big hello to everyone who's new to my channel. I hope you'll enjoy the creepy stories that I write for you. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more similar scary stories. Tonight, I've written a horror story about RV camping. It has a really interesting ending, so stick around until the end of the video to find out how it all ends. Enjoy. I should have trusted my gut. The moment Sally and I pulled into Black Hollow Campground, something felt off. It wasn't the usual rustic, middle-of-nowhere vibe. We weren't alone though. A few other RVs were parked around the clearing, their owners scattered, some grilling, others sitting by the fire. But there was something strange. No music, no chatter, just the sound of the wind slipping through the trees. Sally nudged me. "Did you see that?" she whispered. I followed her gaze. A couple, maybe in their 40s, was sitting at a picnic table outside their Airstream. The woman had her back to us, and the man was staring straight ahead, eyes fixed on something we couldn't see. He didn't blink, didn't move. I waved. Nothing. "They're probably high," I muttered, trying to shake off the unease. Sally didn't respond. That night, after setting up, we made a fire. The other campers had disappeared into their RVs, their windows dark. Around midnight, just as we were about to turn in, I heard a sound, a soft, rhythmic tapping. I turned. It was coming from the Airstream. The man was standing inside, his face barely visible through the window. He was still staring, but now he was tapping on the glass, slow, deliberate. Sally pulled me toward our RV. "Lock the door." I did, but that night I woke to something worse. A scraping sound against our RV door, then a whisper, my name, and then silence. In the morning, the Airstream was gone, completely vanished. No tire tracks, no sign it had ever been there. But on our picnic table, written in the ash from last night's fire, was a message: "Do not stay." Morning light should have brought relief, but instead, it made everything worse. The Airstream was gone, yet the eerie stillness of Black Hollow remained. I stood outside our RV, staring at the message scrawled in ash across our picnic table. "Do not stay." The words hadn't been there when we went to bed, and now someone or something wanted us gone. Sally stepped out, wrapping her hoodie tighter around her. "We're leaving, now." I didn't argue. The night had rattled me more than I wanted to admit. As I started packing up, I noticed something odd. The other RVs. They looked abandoned. Not in the way campers leave for a hike, but in the way cars sit in a junkyard, untouched for years. Chairs were overturned. A cooler sat with its lid open, full of melted ice and long spoiled food. One tent had collapsed completely. I counted 5 vehicles, but there wasn't a single person in sight. "Where is everyone?" Sally whispered. I had no answer. A low hum filled the air, like distant electricity pulsing through the ground. I turned toward the woods at the edge of the campground. Something shifted between the trees, a figure a shadow. My skin prickled. I wanted to leave, but something about the scene kept me rooted. Curiosity, maybe, or something deeper. Then I saw it. A small rusted sign partially hidden behind some bushes near the tree line. Closed by order of County Sheriff. June 1987. I felt my stomach drop. Sally, this campground isn't supposed to be open. She turned to me, her face pale. Then how the hell did we book it? Neither of us had an answer, and we weren't about to stick around to find one. We climbed into the RV, locked the doors, and started the engine. Gravel crunched beneath the tires as I turned onto the road leading out. 5 minutes later, I hit the brakes, hard. The road looped right back into the campground. Number no way. I shook my head, gripping the steering wheel. That's not possible. Sally checked her phone. No service. The GPS map had frozen, showing us still parked at Black Hollow. Try again, she muttered. I turned around, taking a different path. The road twisted through the dense forest, but after another 10 minutes, we were back, right where we started. The picnic table, the fire pit, the empty RVs. I killed the engine. My breath felt shallow. Sally slammed her fist against the dashboard. Are you telling me we're stuck? I didn't want to answer. We sat in tense silence until Sally suddenly grabbed my arm. Look. One of the RVs, the old Winnebago, had its door open now. I was sure it had been shut before. Someone's in there, I whispered. Or something. I grabbed the flashlight from the glove compartment and stepped outside before my brain could stop me. Sally followed, gripping my sleeve. Every step toward the Winnebago felt heavier, like wading through thick mud. The door creaked as I pushed it open. Inside, it smelled of mildew and decay. The seats were torn, stuffing spilling out. A thick layer of dust covered everything, except for a single trail of footprints leading to the back. Hello, my voice barely carried. No answer. I shined the flashlight along the walls. Photographs were taped up, old and yellowed. Families in front of campers, smiling couples, friends roasting marshmallows. Normal pictures, except the eyes. Every single person's eyes were scratched out. I took a step back, my pulse hammering. Then my beam caught something else. A notebook lying on the dinette table. The pages were brittle, stained with age and something darker. I flipped it open. They watch at night. They whisper my name. The road never ends. We tried to leave. We came back. We tried to leave. We came back. The words repeated over and over, growing more frantic, until the last entry. They don't let you go. The hair on the back of my neck rose. I turned to Sally, about to suggest we bolt, when something thumped against the RV's outer wall. Hard. Sally clamped a hand over her mouth. My grip tightened on the flashlight as I edged toward the doorway, peering outside. The campground was silent, but something had moved. Near our RV, barely visible in the dim light, a figure stood, watching us, not moving, not speaking, just staring. I didn't think. I grabbed Sally's hand and ran. We reached our RV in seconds, scrambling inside and locking the doors behind us. My hands were shaking as I checked the windows. The figure was gone. We need to try again, Sally gasped. Drive, just drive. I fired up the engine, threw the RV into gear, and floored it down the road. Trees blurred past. The tires skidded as I took the turns too fast, but I didn't care. We had to get out. Then, headlights. A vehicle appeared ahead, parked in the middle of the road. I slammed the brakes just in time. It was the Airstream, the same one from last night, and standing in front of it, illuminated in my headlights, was the man, the one who had been staring at us through the window. His face was slack, expressionless, his hands hanging at his sides. He was waiting for us. Sally whimpered, "No, no, no." The man took a step forward, then another. I threw the RV into reverse, spinning the wheel hard. I didn't care where the road took us. I just needed distance. The Airstream's headlights flickered. Then everything, our engine, our lights, the world, went black. I was inside the RV, but it wasn't our RV. The air was thick with dust, and the windows were grimy, streaked with something dark. The furniture was old, rotting. The smell, stale air and decay. My heart pounded as I pushed myself up, my head throbbing. Sally. Where was Sally? I staggered toward the door, throwing it open. The second I stepped outside, I realized where I was. The abandoned Winnebago. But it wasn't empty anymore. The photographs were new, and we were in them, every single one. I grabbed the nearest one, my fingers trembling. It was me and Sally standing by the picnic table. Another showed us inside our RV, laughing over dinner. Then another, us sleeping. Someone had been watching us. I barely made it 5 steps before I saw her, standing at the tree line. Her back was to me, her arms hanging limply at her sides. Her hair was damp, tangled. Her clothes were covered in dirt. "Sally," my voice cracked. She didn't move. I sprinted to her, grabbing her shoulders. "Sally, we have to..." Then, darkness. My eyes flickered open. Sunlight streamed through the windshield. The RV was moving. I sat up, my pulse hammering. Sally was driving. "Sally," I gasped. She turned to me, smiling. "Morning, sleepyhead." I stared. "What? What happened?" She laughed. "What do you mean? We left early this morning. Don't you remember?" The road stretched ahead, familiar now. A sign loomed in the distance. "Thank you for visiting Black Hollow Campground." My mouth went dry. "Number, that wasn't right. I turned to Sally, my throat tightening. She was still smiling, but her eyes were black,